Well, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Deb Sofield, and you're listening to my weekly show called Encouragement for Your Life. Many of you know I'm a national speaker, trainer, and a coach, and I help people find their voice and learn to use it. I'm also a conference speaker on the topics of public speaking, presentations, media skills, and crisis communication. If your organization is having a conference and you need a delightful keynote speaker, I'd love to be a part. You can find me at my website, debsofield.com. I've got a number of books on the market. My book series, Encouragement for Your Life, Tough Love Memos to help you fight your battles and change the world, are available on Amazon. These are great books for kids going back to school. They're just little snippets, maybe 2 to 3 pages each, that gives young people, or frankly anyone, an opportunity to have a bit of encouragement in their life. You can find all my books, volume 1 through 3, on Amazon. I got a great show today. It's one that speaks to me, and I hope it speaks to you. And here's the title. Our friend, one small crack doesn't mean you're broken. It means that you were put to the test and you didn't fall apart. I'm Deb Sofield. Thanks for spending these next few minutes with me. Let's get started with today's show. I have to admit, I love today's topic, and I want to shout out a cheer to some of you for sticking with it, getting the hard work done, or just accomplishing a goal that you set. And now, friend, you are basking in the glow of a good job well done. My theme today is a quote from Linda Poindexter, who said, "One small crack doesn't mean you're broken. It means you were put to the test and you didn't fall apart." Wow, that's impressive. You and I know a lot of folks who, when put to the test, tripped and didn't get back up again. Or they decided that if they can't be perfect, they'll just stop. Or worse yet, some don't even try. Man, that doesn't make any sense to me, when in reality, trying is what we're after. The truth is, we've become a very harsh society, where expectations sometimes are so out of whack with reality that we lose the joy of small accomplishments. You'll see this with your kids sometimes. Perhaps they're on a track team or a swim team, and they didn't quite make the cut. And instead of realizing that their time was 2 seconds better than last week, they moan and groan and threaten to quit. Instead of understanding 2 seconds this week will be 4 seconds next week, and only getting better with practice till one day they win. We let them focus on this week's failure and not the progress they made throughout the season. So friend, if that's happening, you need to be the adult and let them know that progress is the best path forward, and you'll cheer them on as they reach their goal. I think in the grand scheme of life, we'd all do well to lighten up a little bit on each other instead of always pointing out people's mistakes. Maybe we should compliment each other for jobs large and small well done. And not just others, but maybe for yourself. How about you? Are you being realistic in your goals? And are you recognizing your accomplishments? Man, I hope so. And if you might have fallen down this week, no worries. Just pick yourself back up and let's try again. See, friends, you might have cracked, but you're not broken. And that in itself is a positive. So let's be real about what we can and can't do. Let's do our best and then rest in our success. I think it takes a very strong person to be mindful of small successes. Some people easily overlook their progress because on the outside, it just doesn't seem so big. But listen, if it matters to you, then it matters to those of us who love you, as we cheer you on to be your best self. I gotta say, I love the thought for today. One small crack doesn't mean you're broken. It means you were put to the test and didn't fall apart. I'm not sure what tests you're going through these days, but I want to encourage you to find your true north, your center, your plumb line, and hold it together, even when it feels like it is slipping from your grasp. And please don't think that your past is a predictor of your future. In many cases, it simply is not. Because you've walked that path and found it wasn't for you. So don't worry about what could happen again, and focus on what will happen as you set your course and chart your direction for success. Now, this comes full circle When you know in the depth of your heart, soul, mind, and body that, friend, you didn't fall apart. And here you are today, stronger, better, wiser. Let's find joy in your success today. Let's celebrate your not falling apart. I've got a number of dear friends who've gone through the pain of divorce and yet have maintained the steady, calm, loving rhythm of running a household full of kids without outwardly giving in to the anger, hurt, frustration of the situation. Of course, it was not easy, but they survived that one small crack and quickly realized they're not broken. But goodness knows they were put to the test, and they're grateful they didn't fall apart. And one day, their children will rise up and call them blessed. No doubt in my mind. So find the reassurance of success, even in a cracked world. I'm always concerned when people want to tell me the same story over and over and over again about a past failure. It feels like they're focusing on the crack instead of being thankful, grateful, or relieved that they didn't break. I read an article by Lori Deschanine who said, "You've got to stop telling the story of your fracture. It may seem like another way to understand what happened, or maybe it feels helpful to hear someone say you didn't do anything wrong and you don't deserve to hurt. In all reality, this keeps you stuck right where you are, living your life around a memory and giving it power to control you. No amount of reassurance will change what happened. You can't find happiness by holding on to a painful story, trying to place it in a new, brighter light. You can only find happiness when you let it go and make room for something better. You don't need another person's permission to let go and feel okay." Wow, that is a great line. And she's right. Why? Because, friend, you were put to the test and you didn't fall apart. Now, since you know what it's like to crack and not break, how can you be an encouragement to someone else? So let me ask, are you in a place where you can say a kind word or do a good deed to someone who is struggling emotionally, financially, or physically? Friend, if you were to add up all your friends who are hurting, I think you'd run out of fingers and toes. So what can you do? And do you mind if I ask you to do it sooner rather than later, like this weekend? Listen, you can send a note, you can make a call, you can just show up to help. That would mean the world to the person who needs you. And by the way, even if no one was there for you, will you be there for someone else? I love the Anne Frank quote, "How wonderful it is that nobody need wait a single moment before starting to improve the world." And the theologian and philosopher Albert Schweitzer said, "I don't know what your destiny will be, but one thing I do know. The only ones among you who will be really happy are those who have sought and found how to serve." Whether it's helping an elderly neighbor by putting her newspaper closer to the front door, or being a rock star neighbor and mowing someone's yard who just couldn't get it done this week due to unforeseen circumstances, or simply paying it forward at the drive-thru. Do it to show that there's still a little humanity left in this world. You know what I think's impressive? When I meet people who I know who have gone through hard times, but they don't dwell on it. In fact, they never mention it. But they tell me about the things they do for others that, well, frankly, mean more to the person who was provided for. And remember, it doesn't have to be big things, my friend, although it's always nice. But consistent small things, those are the things that so many of you do to help. You are to be thanked. If you've ever delivered Meals on Wheels or worked at your local soup kitchen or a food bank, you will have a completely new view on life and be utterly grateful for your station in life at this time. I gotta think most of us have no idea how so many people get by with so little, and yet they live next door to us or to our parents. Neighborhoods change and people come and go, but the needs grow with age. And if you and I can be of help in any small way, we'll have done our part in this spinning orbit. Friend, hear me. You are a survivor. The fact is, in your life, you've seen That one small crack doesn't mean that you're broken. It means that you were put to the test and you didn't fall apart. Now, last week, I admit I was a little hard on you for making sadness and discouragement such a big part of your life. So instead of me hammering you today for not living up to your full potential, I'm going to put my megaphone down and say, well done, good job, keep up the good work, and I'm proud of you. I'm especially proud of those of you who've been put to the test, but you didn't fall apart. Steve Maraboli is famous for saying, "This life is for loving, sharing, learning, smiling, caring, forgiving, laughing, hugging, helping, dancing, wondering, healing, and even more loving. I choose to live life this way." Our friend, I hope you do too. And always remember, that one small crack doesn't mean you're broken. It means you, yes, you, dear listener, you were put to the test and you didn't fall apart. I'm Deb Sofield. You've been listening to Encouragement for Your Life. Stay tuned. I'm going to take a quick break and I'm going to come back and talk about ways you can help mend the world. Hi friends, Deb Sofield here. I'm a national speaker and an executive speech and presentations coach. I've been in the battlefield of politics and business for over 30 years. I know and understand how the game works. In today's marketplace, you don't have a choice. We're in the media age of Twitter, blogs, Facebook, and 24-hour news cycles. Either you move quickly and decisively to define your product, your company, or yourself, or others will define you. You can't afford to miss the mark because the public won't give you a second chance and the media is unforgiving, and YouTube will replay your remarks until you've been ground into dust. Whether it's crafting your message to protect you or your company, or putting you on camera to answer the questions that will resonate with reporters and the public, or preparing you for an interview, let me help you be successful. I'm Deb Sofield. Find me online at debsofield.com. That's debsofield.com. Welcome back, everybody. You're listening to Encouragement for Your Life. I'm Deb Sofield, and today my theme is, you may be cracked, but you're not broken. And because of that, I think we just need to brush up on our courage so we can do what we were born to do. I came across a number of great articles. I'd like to share one with you now by Justin Miller from Lifehack, and his headline is The Guide to Developing Courage. He says this: "Courage is life's blood that fuels us." There's an epidemic going on right now, and it's a lack of courage. It stems from the inability to hold ourselves accountable for our actions, to avoid accepting responsibility for our decisions, playing the victim, and not honoring who we are and what we believe in. He asked the question, when was the last time you were courageous? When was the last time you felt butterflies in your stomach or your insides moving up into your throat? When was the last time you felt scared or nervous or unsure about a decision that you were making, that you were certain the perspiration on your forehead might just drown you out? It might not always seem like it, but decisions we make every day can influence or not if we face anxiety, stress, danger, pain, or difficulties. Courage is a willingness to make those decisions every day and live face to face with their outcome. It's the ability to move forward regardless of any anguish you may face. Here's the truth. Every one of us faces fears, doubt, depression, maybe anxiety. But not every one of us has the courage to move beyond them. It's only those that do that are considered courageous. Without courage, all other virtues would be obsolete and fail to exist. Passion, humility, being honorable, integrity, truth, confidence, strength, and compassion, just to name a few. It takes courage to display these on a day-to-day basis. It's hard. In fact, it's really hard. Winston Churchill once said, "Courage is the first human quality because it's the quality which guarantees all others." It takes a tremendous amount of courage to become the person you truly want to become, to be the person you really want to be. You're going to have to face your fears, your hardships, the doubters, and those who try to keep you down. We often get so wrapped up in all the ways that things can go wrong that we forget about all the way things can go right. It takes courage to shift your mindset. It takes courage to find your way and be true to yourself and discover your virtues. So the article says you need to exercise your courage often. Constantly display it by trying new things, being unique, or tackling a fear. Big challenges produce big courage, but small ones every so often maintain its strength. The article says maybe you should make a list of what scares you and then get to it. Are you in a relationship but scared to commit? No, not me. Afraid to bungee jump, or maybe learn how to line dance, or try a CrossFit class, sell your car, start your business? Friends, some of you ought to make a list, a long list that scares you, and then you need to slowly tackle each one as you can. Start small, build up. Just like exercising a muscle, exercising your courage will help you in the long run. And the more often you do it, the stronger it will be, and the more confidence you will build to tackle bigger and bigger challenges. He goes on to say, let's get this out in the open right now. When you display courage, you are taking a risk and acknowledging the fact that something could go wrong. Let's accept it and display the courage it takes to move on. Find specific causes for why things may have gone awry. Remind yourself that any pain, discomfort, or stress, well, really, it's only temporary, and it's probably related to this event only. Believe that you are, more often than not, the cause of good and positive outcomes for others, and the decisions you make and the actions you take, more often than not, lead to results that represent your values, your virtue, and your true north. He goes on to say, courage is not invincible. Displaying courage does not mean you are invincible. It's common to display courage and still have fear and self-doubt. If you're married, think about that decision. If you have kids, quit a job to start your own, or even have to give a presentation in front of a large crowd. The decision to tackle those challenges does not mean you won't have doubts. You may make decisions and seriously doubt if they're the right one, but the decision itself is not where the courage lies, but the fact that you have faced those self-doubts and you decided what you will do now that you see where you are. He goes on to say, some of you need to commit to the fact that you will display courage. He questions us. How committed are you to living an optimal life? Often when we think about the commitment it takes to get to where we want to go, we get scared. We're not guaranteed anything in this life, so every decision we make is faced with the possibility that it may not work out as expected. But let's be just really honest here. Each of us is here for a purpose. We all have unique gifts to share with this world, ourselves and with others. The decision to be courageous can be made very easy for you, and much of the risk can be dissolved because here's the fact. Life has a funny way of hinting at us of what we should be doing. If you're tired all the time, your body's telling you to rest. If you're overweight, it's telling you to start exercising and to eat better. If you're unhappy, it's telling you you are doing things that are not aligned with your values. If you are happy, healthy, and full of life, it's telling you to keep doing what you're doing, my friend, and don't let anything get in your way. The most important thing is you got to keep your eyes open. When are you at your happiest, healthiest, and most energized? You may find multiple outlets, but that's life's way of telling you what you need to be doing more of. Oh, friend, it takes courage to be you. Look around. The world has a mold for most of us. It's a laundry list of things we're, quote, supposed to do by a certain time in a certain way. There's an assembly line that so many people are on with the same mold coming down quickly on every one of you. But friend, it takes courage to get up, leave some behind, and make your own mold. So here's the fact. If you're a dancer, dance. If you're a painter, paint. If you're a writer, write. It doesn't make any sense to be anything else but you. And once you finally come to that belief, it really doesn't take much courage either. I like that article. I thought it had a positive spin. It's called A Guide to Developing Courage by Justin Miller from Lifehack. I think he had some pretty good points there. I've come across another one because I think sometimes when we have a bad day, we throw our hands up and we say, ugh, another bad day. But here's an article by Daniel Wallen Things to remember when you're having a bad day. He says this, even on the hardest days, it contains lessons that'll help you be a better person. If you're having a bad day, you can feel like things never get better. However, the fact is that tomorrow is a new day and a new opportunity to improve your life. If you had a bad day, consider these few options to help pick yourself up and move forward towards a full life. Number 1, no one promised life would be perfect. If you look for perfection, you'll never be content. Don't condition your happiness on meeting every expectation you set for yourself. Now, setting goals is the key to life, and that's one way you and I move forward to the kind of life we really want. However, if you have a bad day, sometimes those goals can feel unattainable and the challenges insurmountable. Goals are not met overnight. Hey, listen, it's good to be ambitious. If you expect otherwise, your life will be rife with disappointment. But when you stumble on a goal you're trying to achieve, here's the truth. Learn the lesson it offers and move forward. His next point's this: success doesn't happen overnight. Moliere said, trees that are slow to bear fruit bear the best fruit. Don't get yourself into thinking success will come quickly. It isn't easy to be patient, but anything worth doing requires time, and sometimes lots of it. If you get frustrated, remind yourself why your goal's important. Waiting for good things to come can feel frustrating, and this frustration can lead you to having another bad day. If you're feeling impatient, slow down, my friend. Take a deep breath. Take a quick walk. Slow your mind. Figure out what you need to do and move in the direction of your dreams. His next point is that there is a lesson in every struggle. And here's the quote. And once the storm is over, you won't remember how you made it through, how you managed to survive. But one thing is certain. When you come out of the storm, you won't be the same person who walked in. And that is what the storm is all about. If you've had a bad day, let's not focus on how bad your life is. It's a day, my friends, not a life. It's tempting to do so, but stressing out won't make you feel any better. If you search for a lesson in your present struggle, you've got the opportunity to make positive changes that would prevent similar situations in the future. So here's some things we ask you to do. If you find that somebody is just putting you in a bad position, or every time you're around them, they're just really sucking the life out of you, then you need to find some new friends. If you're in a job that's just headed to a dead end, I know it's tough, but sometimes you need to do the hard thing and find a job that will make you happier. The fact is, a lot of these decisions are on you. You just have to step up and have the courage to make the change. His next point's this: hard times help you appreciate the good. Arnold Schwarzenegger said, strength doesn't come from winning. Your struggles develop your strength. And when you go through hardships and decide not to surrender, well, that is strength. Friend, don't be sad if you have a bad day because you failed at something. It's really hard to find much to smile about when you fail, but listen, how else do you improve yourself? Simply look at failure as part of your growing process. Stay positive, pursue your goal. If you had a life that was completely smooth and free of challenges, without the joys and excitement of overcoming difficulties, frankly, I know you don't believe me, but it's the truth. That'd be a boring life. I gotta tell you, worry makes you suffer twice. Corrie ten Boom said, worry doesn't empty tomorrow of its sorrow, it empties today of its strength. Some of you need to stop worrying about everything. It only makes you feel worse. It's human nature to obsess, but come on, that is a self-inflicted mental nightmare. Listen, some of you need to forget about the things you can't control and work on the things that you can, because that is the courage it takes to move forward in your amazing life. And friend, for some of you, it takes courage to ask for help. Dr. King said, life's most persistent and urgent question is this: what are you doing for others? Some of you need to ask for help. It's okay. Listen, it's tough to put yourself in that position, but if you open up to a true friend who will help you deal with it, I'm telling you, it's really helpful to have strength in numbers. You're not a burden to your friends. You're being a friend, asking for support. And the final point is this: friend, there is always something to be grateful for. Abraham Lincoln said, "Folks are usually about as happy as they make up their minds to be." So I want you to think of something you're grateful for. It could be the cup of coffee you had this morning, the puppy you're going to go home to tonight, or the fact that you have healthy enough ears to hear this radio show. It's easy to lose sight of things when we're focused on ourselves. Here's the truth. Bad days are temporary. When you find yourself in one, just figure out what caused it and then overcome it and get back on track. I think it's important that we focus on the good. Listen, tough times come, but friend, you're tougher. And I want to remind you that one small crack doesn't mean you're broken. It means you were put to the test, and you, mighty you, did not fall apart. And that's why you're part of our show. I'm Deb Sofield. You've been listening to Encouragement for Your Life. Friend, I look forward to having you join me next week. Same time, same place. Have a good one, everybody.